Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I have been busy all morning helping my father, who is the official father of the Digital Asset Investor channel. I have been helping him. He had some car trouble today, so I was driving him around a little bit, and the day got away from me. We went and ate somewhere, and before I knew it, the day was gone. And so here I am at, what time is this? 1:42 Eastern time. It's almost time for my son to get out of school, and here I sit doing a video. But a lot's happened. We've got a Bitcoin that has crossed 61,000, and XRP's at $1.14. But let's show you what's been going on. There were rumors. Let's see. This was last night. We started to see rumors about a Bitcoin ETF, that the SEC was going to allow the first Bitcoin ETF, and then we had Jim Cramer, because I'm sure it leaked to Jim Cramer. He said this.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin
flirting with 60,000, over 60,000 for a moment. We have this news report that we could see a ETF around Bitcoin futures next week. What do you think?
Four ETFs. Good liquidity. Younger people at Robinhood running ahead of it, thinking that when the ETFs are announced, that's going to bring real money in.
All right. Anyway. So they had rumors going around, and then XRP, Bart sent me this. Rand Nooner says, yeah, it's here. This is a letter from the SEC, Division of Corporate Finance. This is to certify that October 15th, 2021, the NASDAQ stock market, the exchange, received from Valkyrie ETF Trust 2, the registrant, a copy of the registrant's application on Form 8A12B, for the registration of the following securities. We further certify that the securities described above have been approved by the exchange for listing and registration upon official notice of issuance. We understand that the So there you go, folks. There's your Bitcoin ETF. I might have to buy into that through one of my IRAs. That might be the way to go there. So this means that average Joe this is a big deal towards legitimizing this industry, and for that reason, it's real big, okay? Now, CS May 144K sent me this. Raoul Paul gave the negative side of this. He says, issuing the Bitcoin futures ETF is a good step, but it's basically handing hedge funds a massive arbitrage opportunity, as the futures will trade at a large premium in bull phases, and they get to capture those returns. This is the old financial market trick. You know, you now have to add multiple new intermediaries who all make profits. The ETF provider, clearinghouse, futures broker, administrator, auditor, law firm, CME, and hedge fund arbiters, ARBs. Wall Street gets richer, retail investors lose again. All right, then there was this. Yesterday, we had heard that Gary Gensler had lobbied Clayton. That's what Charles Gasparino said, that he had lobbied Clayton in 2018. That has a very specific meaning. Lobbied who? I had tweeted that yesterday. John Deaton came in and he says, Gary Gensler ignored a petition signed by 30,000 investors. More than 45,000 retail investors have signed up to be heard in the SEC versus Ripple case, and he won't comment. Why? What did he lobby for? Who did he lobby for? Look at this is another John Deaton reply. I would sit down with Hester Pierce, the other commissioners, and industry leaders and establish a plan that provides a safety net of investor protection, defined sufficiently decentralized by objective factors, and incorporate a safe harbor that invites innovation to the USA. That's reasonableness. We can't have that at the SEC. Now, I wanted to see if you recognized anybody here, but I'll go ahead and tell you. This is Valerie Chapinick from the SEC, and you're going to see somebody else you recognize on stage with her.
It's important to to engage with the regulators, and I think we do have good engagement with the folks here on this panel and otherwise who are thinking thoughtfully about these types of things.
Does technology provide that solution? You have private, which a lot of governments and high-level agencies are engaging in, and then you have public blockchain. Is there an interoperability solution that technology can provide that allows this transference of data, of rights, of individual interests that meet with the social fabric and the rules and the intermediaries, as you've said, that provide those choke points? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Interoperability has been under discussion for 3 or 4 years amongst different protocols, amongst different usage, even using the same protocol technology.
And that reminds me, in my list of great interviews that I think Charles Gasparino should do, I forgot to include Valerie Chapinick. She was right there at ground zero with all of this, and now not only was she meeting, she and the SEC meeting with Joseph Lubin, she feels comfortable enough on September 18th, 2019 to be on stage with the guy. So then there was a couple of interesting videos that I saw being passed around by this Ripple Eye guy. This one is from Gary Gensler.
I have come to a view that they should be registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission is one of their 4 offerings, one of the 4 that they do. Ethereum, I believe there's a strong case, a strong legal case. It was a security, it was an investment contract in 2014 when it was offered, similar to all other initial coin offerings. They were careful, they were clever, but they still, I think, were a duck and waddles and quacks like a duck, and they passed the Howey test in 2014 and 2016. I think the Securities and Exchange Commission has a interesting challenge, and can something once being a security transform to be something else? And
tell you what, that goes. Now look, I tell you all the time on this channel, we have 2 categories on this channel. There's only 2 ways this goes. One is there's an awful lot of smoke. There's buzzards flying around. It stinks. That's one of the fouls we have. The other is that all the world's a stage. Now you decide for yourself what all the world's a stage means for you, because I'm not going to spell it out. But what you just saw is buzzards and stink and smoke, okay? Here's some more of that buzzards and stink and smoke. And at the end of this video, I'm going to show you the all the world's a stage file. And there's a couple of things. Here's another one by Ripple Eye.
And you are doing this through a Swiss entity that's going to be dissolved after the crowd sale is complete. Is that right? What was the motivation?
It'll be dissolved after Ethereum 1.0 is launched. So there's some fairly intricate legal arguments around that. It's basically there's some complexities involving having an entity and having an actual tradable token at the same time.
And you are doing this through a Swiss entity that's going to be dissolved after the crowd sale is complete. Is that right? What was the motivation?
It'll be dissolved after Ethereum 1.0 is launched. So there's some fairly intricate legal arguments around that. It's basically there's some complexities involving having an entity and having an actual tradable token.
All right. That's worth hearing a few times. Okay, Mr. B has made an excellent point. We've been polite and persistent in trying to get a response from Coinbase support and others on whether or not they're going to distribute our Songbird tokens, which they do have in their custody. John Deaton, Attorney Jeremy, do you guys have any advice on what we can do next? I think that let's hit a refresh here. Jeremy Hogan says, I looked into this briefly a couple of weeks ago and could only find case authority out of Singapore. Is it your understanding that Coinbase that they've received the tokens and failed to distribute, or has Coinbase not come into the custody at all? Well, I think I saw somewhere in this where somebody did a screenshot where they showed where Coinbase did get them, but I don't see it here right now. Anyway, this right here, I would think that Coinbase would be terrified of getting a big fat class action lawsuit if you keep all of this when you could have distributed it to the rightful owners. That, I would think, could get them in a lot of trouble. Now, we are now firmly in the All the World's a Stage file. Chris Brummer is going to be doing DC FinTech Week. And look at who is going to be there. The first person you have of interest is Gary Gensler, okay? Then you have down here Brad Garlinghouse. These are the featured speakers. And then up here you have Sir Joseph Lubin. Now, if that is not an All the World's a Stage panel, I do not know. Look, I didn't even see this one. I'm going to have to go back through them. Look over here, you've got a general partner at Andreessen Horowitz. I mean, these are all characters. These are all characters in this whole thing. So yeah, this is going to go in the All the World's a Stage file. Now I'm going to show you the ultimate addition to the All the World's a Stage file. Here it goes. Jim Rickards. Crypto groupies who think this is just more bureaucracy don't understand OFAC, IEEPA, or how the Treasury uses sanctions. This is a big stick approach to crypto, and the Treasury is preparing to use it. And he has a link here. And what he linked was, first let's tell you who this is, OFAC. The Office of Foreign Assets Control of the U.S. Department of the Treasury administers and enforces economic and trade sanctions based on U.S. foreign policy and national security goals against targeted foreign countries and regimes, terrorists, international narcotics traffickers, those engaged in da-da-da-da. So this sounds like an agency that can pretty much do what it wants in the name of national security. Maybe even designate what a digital asset is. I don't know. But Jim Rickards seems to think that this is more of the big picture. And the link he sent is this that was put out in October of 2021 by OFAC. Okay? Sanctions compliance guidance for the virtual currency industry. And as you go down, it talks about digital currency, sovereign cryptocurrency, virtual currency, and digital representation. Virtual currency is a digital representation of value that functions as a medium of exchange, a unit of account, and or store of value, and is neither issued nor guaranteed by any jurisdiction. Now, folks, do you know what the significance of that is? You know that little X in front of XRP, that little X in front of XLM? We've gone through what that X is for before on this channel several times. You know what that X is for? It's for this right here. When you have an X in front of your name, you are not tied to any jurisdiction, as in cross-border, as in bridge. Now, folks, I'm not saying that's what this is, but what Jim Rickards very well could be saying is that this agency or one of these agencies coming out of the Treasury could say, hey, okay, SEC, we're going to take this out of your hands now, and this is what the designation is for these currencies that are what was the word they used there? That are neither issued nor guaranteed by any jurisdiction. This could be, all the world could be a stage, folks. Now, if you think, oh, sure, you're full of crap. Oh, okay, whatever. Well, then look at this. Does anybody remember, maybe it was probably 6 months to a year ago, Ripple would do job postings, and we would all go look at show the job postings, and we'd be like, oh, wow, I wonder what they're up to. Well, there was one of them that I remembered when I saw that article right there. Director, Global AML and Sanctions Program. Well, look what it says here. This role will be focused on managing day-to-day AML, CFT, and sanctions OFAC program activities, and will serve as a subject matter expert to the business on complex AML. Then down here, it says it again. It's going to actively communicating cross-functionality to identify AML and OFAC gaps. And that, my friends, is the organization that put this out, Sanctions Compliance Guidance for Virtual Currency Industry. And Jim Rickards says the crypto groupies who think this is just more bureaucracy, as in Gary Gensler, they just don't understand OFAC and this organization and how the Treasury uses sanctions. I think what he's really saying here, folks, is that the Treasury can come out of nowhere and just take control of this whole narrative about what these cryptocurrencies are and what they're not. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that this would go in the All the World's a Stage